Okay, so today's topic, what are the differences between fiancé visas and adjustment of status? Or the difference is really between fiancé visa, consular processing, and to, let's see, I lost Wi-Fi. Let's start this. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so as usual, let's start over, okay? Because I'm live on multiple platforms. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So you guys know the drill by now. Any questions you have, just put them in the chat, and I will try to address as many as I can, depending on how much time I have and your questions, okay? So today, the topic is going to be, if you are in love with someone, okay, is it best to apply for them for a fiancé visa, to do consular processing, or to do an adjustment of status? So let's talk about the three of them first, in general, what they are, and then we are going to talk about pros and cons for each of them, okay? So fiancé visas versus the other options. Fiancé visa is only available before marriage. If you are married to your loved one, you're a US citizen, and you want to sponsor someone from outside the United States because you are in love with them, and for some reason they cannot get a visa to the United States, or it's not the right time, you guys want to take your time with the relationship, fiancé visa is the right option. Fiancé visa is the right option when the relationship is not fully developed, when you are not ready to get married and sponsor them from there directly as your spouse, when there is a reason one of you cannot travel. Now, fiancé visa does require that the US citizen has met the foreign national in person at least once in the last 2 years. So there were a lot of travel restrictions during the pandemic. Thank God that relaxed a little bit. So now we are going to travel and see each other, okay? So let me try again, because it appears that the signal is very bad. I'm going to stop the live and I'll restart it. I don't know what's going on, okay? Let me be right back. So I'll be back, guys. Apparently the signal is only bad on TikTok. So let's see how we are doing on the other ones. Is the signal on the other ones okay? Can you guys let me know, the ones, anybody who's on Facebook or YouTube, let me know what the situation is with the rest of it. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Okay, let me fix the signal, okay? Hopefully. All right, let's try again. All right, let me know if this is better. Let's hope so. All right, good. So let's hope this is better. Give it another minute. Guys on TikTok, let me know if the signal is better this time. So hopefully it's better. I'll start over and I'll explain the fiancé visa again so we can get through that, okay? Let's see. Let's just wait for confirmation. Okay. All right, so Let's go again. Let's start talking about fiancé visas, consular processing, and adjustment of status. If the signal is still bad, you guys need to let me know because I have no way to tell. Okay, so let's talk about fiancé visa, adjustment of status, and consular processing. Fiancé visa is only available to those who are not yet married. And it's only available for a US citizen to sponsor their fiancé abroad. Someone who is in the United States as a permanent resident cannot sponsor someone for a fiancé visa. It would have to be a US citizen sponsoring a fiancé. Okay, that's one thing. Second, for a fiancé, so to be able to sponsor your fiancé to come to the United States. So first, you need to be a US citizen, and then you need to have met in person the foreign national fiancé at least once in the past 2 years. And of course, there are other requirements, but those are the basics, okay? So we need to make sure that you are a US citizen, and then we need to make sure that you have met each other in person at least once in the past 2 years. Now, the other two options that we have are consular processing and adjustment of status. The better part of that is you can sponsor your spouse, that means your husband or your wife, you can sponsor them even if you are a permanent resident. You don't need to be a citizen. But unlike the fiancé visa, you need to be married to each other. Okay? So because you need to be married to each other, obviously you have to be married. Marriage has to be valid. We see this a lot with people who have been married before, and they have not really divorced from the previous spouse. And it's not necessarily because they didn't know, is because the divorce process that they went through, it's not valid. So that happens quite a bit, okay? So Mr. Aliyev, I will look at your question in a second, okay? So you need to be a US citizen or a permanent resident, and you need to sponsor your now husband or wife to come to the United States or to keep them here. The difference between consular processing and adjustment of status is where are they, the foreign nationals, right now. So if the foreign national is outside the United States, the process of obtaining a green card, it's called petition for alien relative, followed by consular processing. Therefore, the case takes place at the consulate. If your foreign national spouse is already in the United States, obviously, generally speaking, the process is adjustment of status. That is not available for certain categories of foreign nationals, for example, those who entered illegally into the United States. If that is the case, they must leave the United States and go back to their country to get their visa. You can still start the process, but usually the end process is at the consulate, and you need waivers in the process and so on. There are some categories that allow you to get a green card in the United States, so from within the United States, without leaving the United States, but that's not the scope of this conversation because it's too complicated, okay? And it depends on every single case, okay? Every single case is different. Right now, all the processes are very, very slow, and it takes a while. Okay, so remember, fiancé, if you are not yet married to each other and you are a US citizen, you can sponsor them. If you are already married to each other, the process is either consular processing or adjustment of status. Generally speaking, the foreign national outside the United States, they go through a consular processing process. And then if they are in the United States and they enter the country legally, or they overstay their visas or whatever, but they are not here illegally because they entered illegally, then you can do adjustment of status in the United States without having to go to the consulate. If they entered the United States illegally, then yes, they have to go through the consulate and get the visa there. There are exceptions. There are quite a few exceptions there. So I hear this a lot. It's like, oh, I didn't know. I thought that if I entered illegally, now I have to go back to my country and get the process there. Most likely you would, but there are so many exceptions. If you're married to a member of the military, if you have been abused by your US citizen or permanent resident spouse, if you have had another application or you were the child on somebody else's application prior to 1997. I mean, there are so many weird exceptions and categories. If you applied for asylum, if you applied, I mean, there are a lot of those exceptions. You are not going to know if you qualify for an exception unless you book an appointment and meet with an experienced immigration attorney for a consultation to see if that's available for you or it's not available for you. Okay, so let's answer some questions. Let's see what we got. So started from the top. So how long does it take status to bring my mother to the United States? So I am assuming you are a US citizen, or as a permanent resident, you cannot sponsor your mother. So I'm assuming you're a US citizen and you want to bring your mother here. Your mother is considered an immediate relative. That means a visa is readily available. So it depends only on the processing times. Processing times could be anywhere from a year to 4 years, depending on where you live, what country your mom is from, and a bunch of other things, okay? So give us a call. We can help you navigate that. I'm on a partner visa in Dubai. How can I get green card there? I don't know what the partner visa in Dubai is. It doesn't matter to us. It doesn't go by where you are right now or what kind of visa you have right now where you are. It depends on your original country of nationality and country of citizenship. And speaking of how you get the green card here, generally speaking, 5 ways to get a green card in the United States. There are more than that. Those are the exceptions, but generally speaking, 5 ways. You're already in the United States and you're filing for asylum. You're outside the United States and you're applying for the diversity visa, which is the visa lottery. Then you can do based on investment. If you have money to invest in the United States, that's $800,000 US minimum to 1.050 the other option. Then you have employment-based options. If you find an employer willing and able to petition for you and go through the process. And the last one is through family, okay? So those are your ways to get a green card in the United States. Nobody in the United States can help you find an employer or find a spouse. You need to find that on your own. After that, the immigration process starts. Herty wants to know, he's on YouTube, is it possible to apply for permanent residency or a green card when in the US on a J1 visa? It depends on your J1 visa. Do you have a 2-year residency requirement? If you have a 2-year residency requirement, you would need the J1 visa waiver first. Again, depending on what type of contract you are here under the J1, who paid for that program, particular program, who's the sponsor of the J1 program, and so on. Okay, we can help you navigate that. Give us a call, okay? Let's see. Any way to speed up in immediate relatives category filed within US processes times? It depends. If you tell me exactly under which category, then I can look it up for you. And of course, did you apply? If you already applied and you tell me the first 3 letters of the receipt you got, I can give you a better answer. You guys know you can go on USCIS's website, go to processing times, and put your receipt there, and it will tell you how much longer your wait is. It really will. And that changes all the time. You should go see that every week, every month if you want, okay? Some categories are really slow. Some categories are faster. Okay. And it also depends on where you applied. California, Nebraska, Potomac, depends on where you applied. And no, you cannot pick a specific location to apply to. It really depends on the type of application and where you live. I'm a green card holder. Can I invite my brother or sister? If you're inviting them just to visit, yes, you can. If you want to invite them to be here, you cannot sponsor. There is no such category as a permanent resident sponsoring a brother or a sister. Do you have to register for a selective service as a green card holder? Yes, you have, depending on your age. So are you over 26 years old, under 26 years old? Tell me what's going on there and I'll tell you more, but you must register. Great, I got approval in October 2022 for K1 visa, waiting on my welcome letter. Multiple NVC inquiries, still waiting. Yes, so when you say you got approval for your K1 visa, I am assuming you apply for the I-129F. So when you say that was approved, that just means the initial petition was approved. Then you are going to National Visa Center. National Visa Center is really, for the fiancé visa purposes, a calendaring service. National Visa Center, NVC, cannot schedule interviews if appointments are not available. At the end of every single month, they are getting a list from all the consulates that say, for example, in Mexico, you can you can schedule this many. In Guatemala, you can schedule this many. In Pakistan, you can schedule this many. If next month they only have 3 appointments available, guess what? You're probably not getting one of those 3. If they have 300 appointments available, your chances are significantly higher, right? So, oh, look at that. Maybe I'm allergic. Okay. So yeah, you have to wait until there are appointments available at that particular consulate. And when the consulate lets the National Visa Center know, that's when they are going to schedule. Okay, so right now, for example, at the end of February, they are going to get likely April appointments. All right, if you enter on ESTA, get married to a US citizen, can you adjust status in the United States? Generally speaking, yes. But here's the thing, if you get denied, you don't get an opportunity to see an immigration judge. If you get denied and you're here on ESTA, they really will pick you up and put you on a plane. So you need to know what you're doing, and you need to probably not do it on your own because it's very risky. Is it doable? Absolutely. After getting your 10 years green card, how long does it take? Hold on. How long does it take to file for citizenship? Well, generally speaking, it doesn't matter when you got your 10 years green card. It goes from the date you got the first green card, okay? So if you were married already for 2 years and then you got your 10 years, if you got it, first you mentioned the 10-year green card. So I'm assuming you already had a 2-year green card. If that's the case, you probably are eligible to apply now. If you are still married and living with your spouse and they were already a citizen at the time you got your green card, then for 3 years, then you're eligible after 3 years. Otherwise, it's a 5-year wait. And it's not exactly 3 years or 5 years. It's 2 years and 9 months or 4 years and 9 months. I got approval. I already addressed that one. All right. I applied for my mom for green card. It takes me 5 years to get an answer. Yeah, sometimes it takes a long time to get an answer. It really does take that long. We have a few clients that have been waiting a long time just for the first one. All right. I'm graduating nursing school soon. Can I self-sponsor? Do I need the hospital to sponsor me? Well, hospitals are not the only places that sponsor nurses. There are private practice areas where private doctors in private practice. There are clinics. The more rural you go outside the cities, the easier it is to find someone willing to sponsor you. And those are, they go on a separate track. For nurses, it's a little bit easier. Usually they do want experience as well. Now, when you say you graduated nursing school, it also depends on what kind of nurse. Are you a registered nurse, an LPN, a PA, regular CNA? It depends on what it is, okay? Lucha, I already addressed your question, so we already went over that. Son filed for parents. Okay, let's see. Let me see that for you, okay? It's a little slow, guys. Nothing I can do about it, okay? When I'm on video, it's always slow. So U.S. citizen filing for parent. Let's assume you're filing in Lincoln, Nebraska. It says 10 and a half months. It's more like 18 months, but whatever. Let's go California. California is the same. Texas, we haven't had one in Texas in a long time. They don't really take them. They're all about the same. They say about a year for the first part. And after that, you really are waiting. After that, you're waiting for the National Visa Center. There is another year and a half. There's another year and a half going on there, including waiting for the consulate. Depending on which country are you in, it could take significantly longer or significantly shorter, okay? To get a more accurate description, estimate of how long it's going to take so you guys can plan properly, it's best to meet with an experienced immigration attorney and discuss all these things, okay? Yes, you have to register for selective service. Can I invite my brother or sister with green card? No. I'm currently turning 30, turning 31. I know I can't register for selective service now. Yeah, you just have to have, okay, so if you already were a permanent resident and you want to apply for citizenship, you actually have to show the government why you didn't do it, okay? Don't take that lightly. They want to, basically the government's position is this. We gave you permanent residency. We expect you to follow our laws. And one of those things is you registering for selective service. Remember, the government's position is ignorance of the law is not their problem and it's not an excuse. So if you didn't know, you just have to show that you try to make. Doesn't mean, just because you personally didn't register, doesn't mean that the government didn't register you when they gave you the green card. You might want to go to the selective service website and check yourself. My asylum is denied. I'm married to U.S. citizen. Do I have to do country out? Basically, do you have to go outside the country or not? It depends. When your asylum was denied, you were probably sent to see an immigration judge, and the judge then denied your asylum. A denial of asylum means you have a deportation order. You have a removal order. That means that in order for you to get a green card through your U.S. citizen spouse, you need to first open the removal case and terminate that order of removal, because the minute you're leaving the United States, you're not coming back if that order, you're basically self-deporting. You do not want to do this on your own. Definitely do not want to do this on your own, okay? You don't have to hire me, but please, by all means, hire an experienced immigration attorney to help you with that. That is also a big difference depending on where you live in the country, because in some places it's easier, in some places it's much harder. Ruth Patel, I have conditional green card and I applied 10 years green card, but I got divorced. Can I marry someone on F1? Nobody's preventing you from getting married whoever you want. But if you applied for a 10 years green card, you might want to wait until that green card is approved. when you applied for that 10-year green card, was that before the divorce or after the divorce? Did you apply it as a joint petition, or did you apply for a waiver petition? Okay, so those things make a difference. Timing in immigration is critical, so you might want to do the right thing and see an immigration lawyer. Okay. Change of status through marriage and done with my biometrics since last November. Okay, when you say change of status through marriage, it's not a change of status, it's adjustment of status. Changing of status applies to non-immigrant visas. Your green card application is an adjustment of status. You're adjusting it from non-immigrant to immigrant. It's a difference, okay? And done with biometrics since last November. So if you did the biometric in November, you probably applied September to October. Depending on where you are in the United States, the processing could take anywhere from 16 months to 6 years. I would like to know more information, okay? Yeah, give me more information. Tell me exactly where you live so I can look into that a bit more. Sandy, I'm a senior citizen. Can I purchase a holiday home in the US? And how long can I stay? You can absolutely purchase a property in the United States. How long you can stay depends on your type of visa. Sandy, going by your name, I'm assuming you are either Canadian or from one of the European countries. If you're come here on ESTA, you are limited to 90 days, and having a house doesn't matter. If you are coming here on a B2, you are limited to 6 months, okay, less than 6 months. Now, again, this is general and it really depends. It depends on the officer's discretion when you enter the United States. At that point, they are going to make a decision. Just because generally people on ESTA get 90 days or people on B2 get 180 doesn't mean you will. We see many, many people who enter and then they're freaking out because they only got 10 days at the point of entry. The longer you stay in the United States, followed by shorter periods outside the United States, the more flags you are going to raise. So it needs to be planned properly so you don't get into that situation. Okay, as a nurse and pending asylum applicant, can my employer still sponsor me? Yes, they can still sponsor you. Now, depends on when you applied for asylum. If you applied for asylum before your B2 visa expired, your options are different than applying, than having an employer sponsor you if you applied after that, okay? So, yeah, it's totally different. Yeah, interviews are taking forever. Okay, my 10-year green card is lost. What do I have to do? You fill out a Form I-90 and you apply online for a replacement of that green card. You need to be careful, make sure there is no data there that is absolutely contradicting what you had on your initial green card, because you'll be denied, and then you could have fraud or misrepresentation as well. So just be very careful, see if you have a copy of that green card, see if you have a copy of the initial application that you filed for the green card. Just filling out, immigration is never just about filling out a form. Almost ever. It's never about just filling out the form. It's about the information that you fill out and how do you support that with documents. So be very careful, but you can do it. My asylum is denied. I'm married to a US citizen. Do I have to do the country out withholding of removal grant? You got withholding of removal. I am not even going to give you the advice on that because you are in a better position than most people are. With the withholding of removal, you actually have a work permit. And if your marriage or motion to reopen are not granted, then you are really reopening a can of worms. So you really need to know what you are doing, okay, when you're doing that. Those questions should only be answered by an experienced immigration attorney when they have had the opportunity to look at your entire case. This is not a question for social media. You have a very complicated case, okay? Very. Don't take that lightly. This is not filling out forms. Okay, Ms. D, RN, BSN. Hey, congratulations, man. I have to give you congratulations. It's not easy to get the RN, BSN. You need to be licensed. Once you have that, you actually have an option to be sponsored. In some instances, you might be able to self-sponsor, depending on your experience. If you just got it, probably not. Look for a rural, outside the city area. I can say that word, man. Rural, okay. Look for a rural place where they are desperate for nurses and they will sponsor you. It is not as difficult as you think to find, okay? And they will sponsor you, yes, okay? If you're assigned, depending on how you've been here, did you get asylum denied? Do you have any work permit? You have a J1, whatever it is. Let's see how you got those degrees. Let's see what your experience is. Maybe you have had some experience in the medical field prior to going to nursing school. So let's look at all those things, okay? Where is our office located? Thanks for asking. We are located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but we help immigrants everywhere make the United States their permanent home. We have clients in all 50 states at this point and most countries around the world. So it doesn't matter where you are. Immigration is federal, so we can help you regardless of where you are located. How long does it take after giving asylum when someone coming through Mexico border? I don't understand the question. How long after giving asylum? Someone coming through the Mexican border does not get asylum. They may be passing a fear interview, but they don't get asylum when they come through the border. They have to apply for asylum afterwards, okay? And that asylum has to be granted. It takes time. My friend got his green card through marriage, but his wife died last month. Can he marry again? I'm so sorry to hear that. If he got his green card, was that the 2-year green card or the 10-year green card? If she died last month, did he actually get the green card or was he in the middle of the process? If she died last month, does he really want to get married again? To me, that raises flags as to the validity of the first marriage. Very few people remarry or even bring up the question after their wife just died last month. It really depends, the answer. The answer is really depends on where exactly he is in the process, okay? How long does it take? We already addressed that nobody gets asylum. It doesn't matter that you're from Afghanistan, okay? You live in New York. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Great. It doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're in New York, we can still help you, okay? Try to find an employer. As a nurse and pending asylum, can an employer still sponsor me interviews? Yes, they can. Fiancé visa interview in Poland. Russian citizen cannot travel there. What's the best alternative? Find another country. If the interview is in Poland, find another country another consulate who is willing to see Russian citizens for that, okay? There are other countries that you can select. You need to contact all those consulates and see which one accepts what's called third country nationals. But it's your job to find out which consulates do that and which one will allow you to do it, okay? Is the processing time that's showing in my file is what I have to wait until they make a decision? The processing time, it's not until they make a decision. The processing time, it's until they get to look at your file. It says 2 weeks left. Fantastic. That would be nice. So hopefully in 2 weeks, you get something. That's something, it's not always a decision. That something could be a request for evidence, could be a notice of intent to deny, it could be an approval or a denial. But 2 weeks is not bad. Good luck. Let's hope it's all good, okay? Let's see. How is Judge Nunes? Which location? Tell me where is that judge and I'll tell you. Okay, as soon as I see it, I'll let you know. But tell me where that judge is located, which location. My husband is a citizen. Is there any fast way to bring his brother? Brother, sisters are very long. It's 15 to 16 years. Concurrent filed in December, did my biometric in January. What to expect next and time frame? Depends on where you are located, because the green card depends on your state of residence, your location. So there are places in the country they take 6 years. There are other places they take only 12 months. Terry K, what's your question? I didn't skip any questions. I literally answered almost all of them. Okay. How long does it take after giving asylum when someone coming through Mexico? I already answered that. Can Schengen visa holder apply for asylum in Europe? Unlikely, it's not going to be approved. Fiancé visa interview, I already addressed that. Concurrent filed in December, did by biometrics, I already applied. Where is your office? Our office is in Fort Lauderdale. We help immigrants anywhere make the United States their permanent home. Doesn't matter where you are. My green card had error from USCIS. I sent the card back to them on there. How long is the wait? Could be anywhere from 3 months to a year. It really takes that long. Sorry, we get so many green cards with errors made by USCIS and nothing you can do about it. It's really, but you did the right thing. You sent the card back. You followed their instructions. You didn't pay a filing fee because it's their error. The problem is you still don't have a green card. You can try after, you show that it was delivered to them. You can try to go online on USCIS's website and use Emma, their chat thing, and see if you can do that. Okay, that might be able to help you, especially when you have an employer that's looking for proof of your ability to work and you can't produce it. I'm on 485 from last 4 months. When I receive my work permit? Work permit based on 485 takes 7 to 9 months right now. How can a medical doctor travel without USMLE? I do not know. Can someone in Italy apply for a green card? Yeah, why wouldn't they? You just have to be eligible. On my file, it says 2 weeks left before they make the final decision. Is that a real wait time? No, it's an approximation based on their processing, how many cases they have and what type of cases and so on. So no, it has nothing to do with your case. That's just an idea. How long would it take for your asylum interview if your case is expedited for medical condition? If you were able to actually expedite your asylum case based on a medical condition, okay, then somebody did it for you. You should contact that person who did it for you. You didn't do that on your own. Contact your immigration lawyer and ask them that question. I cannot tell you. It really depends on where your asylum interview is. Also, asylum and refugee are two totally different things. Generally, in the United States, you already have access to medical care, so you wouldn't be able to expedite. So your interview may not be an asylum, okay? And if it is in the United States, then you have a specific category. And if they expedited that, then you should talk to whoever helped you do the expedite. Is the I-130 taking longer? This month, it's a year since my husband applied for my visa. Yes, it could take longer than a year. And the I-130, it's only the first step. After that, you are still at the National Visa Center for a long time. And after that, it's the consulate. So you are looking at much longer than that. Stanley, my pleasure. Can U.S. citizen invite brother to U.S. and get green card? Yes, it's just going to take over 15 years. Okay. How long does it take for Form 797? 797, it's only a receipt. It's a notice. It doesn't tell me anything. I can't give you an answer to that. My husband's a U.S. citizen and applied for my visa last year. I-130 taking longer? Yes, much longer. My boss passed away. He left properties and money. I came here, C1D visa, all that they left to me. Unfortunately, with the C1D visa, you cannot get a green card. C1D visa does not allow you to apply for a green card based on that. Can I file for my husband right after the oath ceremony for my citizenship? Yes, you can. I didn't apply for work authorization because I had one for 2 years, which will expire in June. Is that a problem? Yeah, when you are able to apply for a work authorization, you should apply for the work authorization. The problem is 7 to 9 months, and June is only 4 months from now. So you're going to have a 3 to 4 month period in which you're not going to have a work permit. Yep, you had your work authorization through a pending asylum. Now you're going to have a problem because it's going to take forever to get you one. All right, so I addressed most of my questions. The rest of them, sorry guys, but I need to go. I have other appointments that I have to get to. I'll be again here on Wednesday answering more questions. Perhaps I'll keep the same topic, we'll see. And please keep the questions coming or send us message on, I see most of them are on TikTok. Sadiq, you had a question on Facebook. What about persons applying for the first time from Nigeria? Applying for what? What are you applying for? A tourist visa? Are you applying for a green card? That is very, very general and I cannot answer that, okay? I'll address most of your other questions. If you put them on our TikTok, I'll try to address them there. If not, I'll see you guys again on Wednesday. Bye now.